We're going to be working on the Inominy from the Law 6-part set, the treble part, first part, and looking at some of the challenges that brings. Starting with the use of the bow and planning your bowing so you don't run out, which is a really good idea. Where you should be for string crossing, and looking at fingering so that you can make the most of the resonance of the viol in the string crossing passages and generally with coming back to a note. So if we start from bar 3, it's that second note that you've got to watch, the E flat. And why? Well, if you've got a long note here, it's the one after the long note that's going to be perhaps a too fast a bow. So you need to just keep that gentle, and that comes back time and time again. And sometimes when it comes back and it's got fast string crossing following it, and that's the time when you really need to watch it. So by the time I get to the bottom G, I'm going to have my bow pretty much back to the tip, so I'm not going to run out of bow when I get to bar 5. So let's play that together. I'll give you 3, 4, 1. Okay, here we go. And we'll just probably play up until about bar 10 and then have a look at it after that. Here we go. 3, 4, 1. Good. So, a few things to discuss there. The last quaver of bar 4 needs to be on a second finger, and that stays down until you come back to it in bar 6. So, when you start bar 5, you've already got your second finger down on C, because you're coming back to the C. And here with the bowing, I did a tuck here on the dotted minim, and then another one on the B flat, because I think I want to get the top B flat on a push bow. So when you go for that top B flat, try not to look at it, and try to think, 4 fingers down. And your hand is right up, so it's supporting your fingers, and so on and so on. Fingering wise for that section, what could you do? I came all the way back down on the D string, but you could come across if you can disguise the open D. Let's have a listen. Whoops. Could you hear the open D? Let's try that again. So I'm putting my E flat on the A string, open D, and then coming back to half position. Personally, I like staying up and getting the same sound, but I think if you can do it so that your D doesn't stick out too much and shift, and you feel happier like that, then that's fine. Okay, so did you manage that with the bowing? Did you manage to not run out at bar 5? Should we try it again? So I started with the second finger, and second finger on C, chordal fingering here. Okay, let's do that again then. Here we go. And 3, 4, 1, 2. So there's another chord of fingering at bar 9. When you put your G on in 9, you keep it down until you play the C, and then when you come back to the G, then that works to come back down again. Okay, let's go on to the next phrase. So this is at 12, and this is the first little string crossing passage, isn't it, that we've got here. And I'm doing this in first position so I can cover the D on the second beat in the next bar. It's just easier from a string crossing point of view. Here we go. So I'll play it to you. 3, 4, 1, 2. So I want to have a gentle ending, so a stopped D at the end of 14 and a stopped D at the beginning of 14 as well, and chord of fingering again, keeping the C down in 14 because you're coming back to it at 15. Let's do that together then. So that's this is bar 12, second beat with a second finger. Here we go, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Great. Well, I think it is, because I can't hear you. It is very odd teaching to an invisible pupil, I must say. Anyway, it's a learning curve. So this section at the end of 15 then, I'm doing this in half position because I want my octave Fs to be on a 1 and a 3 rather than a 1 and a 2, because it's a bit more of a strain on a 1 and a 2. And we've got to think about here what notes we want to come out, and it's the moving notes that come out and not the repeated notes. So let's just play that without the repeated notes. I'll play it so you see what I mean. I'll go 2, 3, 4, 1. So that's what you should be hearing when you play the repeated notes. I'll just try it again. Let's try it with the repeated notes now. You play it with me. Here we go. I'll give you 2, 3, then we'll come in on 4. So 2, 3, 4. Should we try that slightly slower? Because what I want you to do on this on the melody notes is to feel like your bowing arm is slightly heavy, so that you feel that you can bring those moving notes out. Let me show you what I mean. I'll do it slightly slower. So 2, 3, 4, 1. So I felt like my arm was generally heavier on those moving notes. Yeah? Should we try that together? So this is bar 15, fourth beat, I'll give you 2, 3. Okay, here we go. Not 1. I'll give you 2, 3. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. And again, a little bit quicker this time. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 1. So did you still manage to release the weight in your arm when it went quicker? Yeah, let's have a try. 2, 3, 4. And in a way, it's quite important that we get the feel of this, because the left hand's going to get trickier on the next page. And to get the feel of something, it's a good idea to do it with your eyes closed. Just so that what are you doing when you release your weight? How can you best feel that? Shall we just try that with eyes closed and see what happens? Okay, here we go. I'll give you 2, 3. Ready? 2, 3. So I don't know about you, but I was thinking about the notes rather than my arm then. So should we try it again and really think about the arm, and maybe we'll slow it down a bit as well. Okay, so 2, 3. Again. 2, 3. And it's a good idea to just put that into your body and try and work on the muscle memory. Okay, the next phrase at 19 is a similar sort of thing, but we've got that scale going up at the end as well. I'm still doing this in half position. I'm doing this in half position, 19. And then we've got this scale coming up in diatonic fingering with a contraction at the end, going up to B flat. For those of you who haven't done contractions before, it's where you put all the weight of your hand into your little finger and you let go of everything so that you can move with your the rest of your hand into a new position, and you don't let go of your fourth finger until the first finger in its new position. If you let go before then, you've sort of had it really. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So I'm going to give you 1, 2. Okay, here we go. Let's play it together. And 1, 2. And let's try that again. My B flat wasn't that in tune. Perhaps a bit slower. Okay, here we go. 1, 2. Time really thinking about the notes that are the melody notes in the string crossing and the notes that are the repeated notes. Here we go, a little bit quicker. 1, 2. 3, 4. I can hear a cat. Carrying on from where we were then, we've got this next phrase at bar 22. And the thing about this one is it's really easy to bash that C when you're coming from the D string down to the C string. So what I want to do is just play the first 2 beats, land on the C, and listen to how we land on it. So here we go. So 3, 4. And again. 3, 4. Good. Okay. Let's have a look now at 26. So we've worked out the string crossing and how we're doing that in the last string crossing. What we've got to do with this one is just work out fingering. So we've got A flat here, we've got the F here, we've got the C here with the first finger, we've got the A flat here, and then you have to put your first finger coming back slightly straighter to get that F, and then we're there. So let's try that slowly. So 3, 4. So I should have said just that arpeggiation there. And let's think about that in terms of the moving notes and the repeated notes. Here we go. 3, 4. Whoops, on the right note, it's even better. 3, 4. And I carried on then. So are you getting the feel of this, that we're aiming for this, the arpeggiation? Sorry. That's what we want to be hearing. Let's try it together. Here we go. And 3, 4. Oh, I'll start on the right note again. 3, 4. Good. Let's try that again. It's just feeling confident with it, isn't it, really? It's also getting your hand in the right position too. So make sure you can do that chordal fingering and then come round for that A flat. Okay, here we go. Sorry, count you in. 3, 4. Now my tone really went terribly then. So what happened to the weight in my right arm? I was thinking about my left hand. Shall we try that again? And don't do what I just did. Was to not think about my right arm, just because my left hand's getting complicated. Here we go. That wasn't that much better. Let's try it again. 3, 4. How's yours going? Are you getting that F natural there with your finger turned back? Are you feeling that you're getting the arpeggiation? Should we try it a bit quicker? Here we go. So 3, 4. Yeah, and easy to forget about your arm just because we're going quicker. Try again. 3, 4. And again. 3, 4. Yeah, I don't seem to be getting a very good A flat, so I'm just going to work out why. If I've come here, let's try that together again. 3, 4. Is yours better? Okay, so the next passage with all this string crossing is bar 29. And so far, what I've been doing for the string crossing is just forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, which seems to be working. I haven't done up, down, up, down, up, down with a bow, but I think for this one I will, because I've got to get down from the 5th string to the 1st string in consecutive quavers. And I can do forward, back, but actually if you just lift up the last one, it really helps to get it round. So we finish this passage at the beginning of bar 29 on the 1st finger with the thumb still in 1st position. I think on the 2nd crotchet beat here, shift back, because on the 1st F, you're going to put a 4. If I show you this slowly, so we're here, and then we're going to move the thumb back, and that's what you look like at the end of that bar. Let's try that together, slowly. So 3, 4. And then I'm doing a 3 on the G, but I've still got my 4 down when I arrive at the G on the 3. Let's try that together. So 3, 4. I could hear quite a lot of other noises on my violin, and that wasn't supposed to happen at all. Try it again. Here we go. 3, 4. So yeah, we're just going to do those 2 bars, I think. Sometimes it's a good idea when the left hand is very complicated if you just do the right hand bowing. And I think it might be a good idea to do it here. So if we went from the third beat of 29 and just had a look at what we're doing with the bow. So it's the A string to the D string, the E string to the D string, and then the G string to the D. So just practice that. Just practice as an open string practice. Do that with me now. So 1, 2. And on the last one, see if you can tip the bow back. Rather than do a forward back with the arm, tip the bow back as well. Let's do it again. So 1, 2. So when I tip the bow back, I can see through it when I'm here. Obviously I can't when it's down there. And if you do that as a separate exercise, that might help. And of course, pressure. What's happening to pressure with the bow hair? Is it more or less? It's more. If anything, it's more, because you're wanting to keep that bow on the string and to rock it around silently. And of course, the more pressure you have, the more silent it is. And of course, you can see I'm not here, because if I did this exercise here, can you see how much my right arm's moving? I call this the windmill bowing. And it just doesn't feel right. So you've got to move down the bow. So you've got 6 quavers to move down the bow from when it starts at 29 to get yourself in the right place. So again, it's planning, isn't it? Okay. What about if we go from, let's go back to that bar again, bar 29, and this time we'll go on and just keep playing until I stop. Okay, so I think a good speed. Okay, so 3, 4. Changes character, doesn't it? Okay, I think we'll do that again in a minute, but I just want to draw your attention to the way that the music goes up and down, doesn't it? And as it goes up, get louder, and as it comes down, get quieter. And also it changes completely when we go into 35 and go into crotchets. 36, there's a fingering there. I don't want you to leave when you do the C afterwards. I still want you to have the B flat down, because that's going to keep it ringing. Can you hear that? You only have to hold it down when you play the C, but shall we just do that a little bit slower, because there's quite a lot to do there, isn't there? In bar 30, I'm going back to first position, stopping the Ds on the second beat. Basically, when you're doing this at speed, you're not going to have time to string cross, so you've got to cover the notes. And then I'm going back to half position in the third beat of bar 30, so I can play the D and the F without having to move fingers. And then by the time I get to 30, 31, 32, I'm still in first position, or I've gone back to first position, because I don't want to be in half position, having then to go down to B flat here. And the shift up to the B flat, I just did an E flat F 1 1. Okay, so let's just do that again from bar 29. And let's just think about, so many things to think about on there. Lots of things to think about. Maybe we'll do it twice, and the first time we'll do it thinking about the left hand. And the second time we'll do it thinking about the bow. Okay, here we go. So 3, 4. Sorry, I'm pardon, sorry. Okay. One little tiny thing at bar 31. When I play the B flat, I'm holding it down when I play the C, and then I go to the D. So I'm fingering this in potential thirds because it's the most of the resonance, isn't it? Okay, so let's think about that this time. Do the same passage from bar 29, and let's think about the bow. Okay. So dynamics, in other words. And the string crossing and the weight of the arm on the melody notes in the string crossing. Okay, not much then. Okay, here we go. 3, 4. I just wanted to get to, and I think I held that tied note on at 35 too long last time. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're working on focusing on the left hand and focusing on the right hand, and it's really important that you give just as much attention to the right hand as you do to the left, so they develop together. Okay, the next tricky section then is not tricky really, but just needs to be talked about, is bar 39. So we've got E flats and Gs here and Cs. So what I was doing here was a 2, 3, and then a 2, and then a 3, and then a 3 and a 4. And so let me show you again. And can you see how my hand is up? It has to be up for this with all this quarter fingering. So what I was doing at bar 40 was to actually do an open D there, because it's at the beginning of the bar and it's nice to have that open sound. I know it's not for too long, but I think it's really nice to do that open, which means that in the previous bar, in bar 40, when I'm down on a B flat, I can hold that one down, stay in half. Play this now. If we go from the last 3 crotchets of bar 38, so I'll give you 2, 3, and then we'll come in from there. So ready, 2, 3. A little bit quicker because it wasn't as hard as the other sections. Okay, the next section then, should we do that again? Let's just do that again, shall we? So, 1, 2, 3. So the next section, I started in first position, and then I managed to contract backwards to get back on a 2 with a D there. Okay, so let's try this. I'm starting this on a push bow as well. So I give you 3, 4, 1. So 3, 4, 1, 2. So if we now go to bar 45, or the bit just before 45, 44, and when you go to this top B flat, it's 4 fingers down. It's not 4th finger and the rest hanging off. It's off you go, aiming for the top fret with the third finger in this context. Okay, so this is 44, and I'm going to give you 1, 2, and we come in on the second beat of 2. Okay, 1, 2. Did you get it that time? Right. Can we go from 50, I think, now? I think those other 2 bars are okay. So we've got a change in mood here, haven't we? When we're all coming into minims now. So when you play the first and second Gs, hold the first one down. In bar 52, a 3 on the G and a 2 on the B flat, so another chordal ready for your G on a 4 up there. So let's go from 50 then. Here we go. So 3, 4. And that's relatively straightforward. Hold your fingers down though at 55 when you go from the G. It would be quite nice to hold that G rather than for it to come off. Can you hear? You get so much more resonance. You could do an open string there, I suppose. It's been very interesting going through this Inominy and taking it to bits and working on what we need to work on. I hope you've enjoyed it, and let me know if you have, and well, if you haven't actually, because any feedback about this would be really useful. It's a learning curve, as I said before. So anyway, thank you very much.